fumble, and the guy grabs it and he goes 50 yards the wrong
Yes,
way. And he's like right in front of the end zone, but he turns the wrong way for 50 yards.
Yeah.
And then both coaches are yelling because someone tackled him. And like the opposing team tackled him. If they didn't, it would have been the safety. And then, of course, his own coach is yelling at him, but he's like, oh, I didn't know I was going the wrong way.
It was Kent State and someone else. It was Kent State. I mean, first of all, to see, it was like you saying, bro, he was a muff punt. And it's so funny because I think it was hilarious that he's going the wrong way and guys were blocking for him, which I thought was the funniest thing.
It's like it's a regular play, but no, everyone's just, I don't know, it was just a complete gong show.
Yeah, he's going the wrong way. The guy's blocking for him. It's like, okay, I've never seen this before. Have you seen this play, Mr. Matt?
Oh, absolutely.
It's just so funny. And the thing is, I don't get it though. Why was he tackled? He's going the wrong way. Why would you tackle him?
Coming from a guy who's been on the field in some pretty weird situations like that, once you start running, it doesn't seem like you're going the wrong way. And trust me, I've done it. I realize, but if you get turned around like you pick up a fumble or something, you get turned around, then everybody starts running the same direction. You automatically think you're going the right way.
True.
And both teams start thinking that.
Yeah.
And if you're running with the determination that this guy had, if you're on the opposing team, you're gonna want to stop him. Doesn't matter which direction he's going. Hey, that guy shouldn't be running like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just really, really weird. But you know
At
what?
the same time, I was playing high school football and not college level, so these guys should know.
Yes.
Should be a little more aware
You know,
of what's going on the field.
They should know east, north, west, south, Montana, Missouri, jingle bells. I mean,
How
they
about
should.
Savannah State?
Savannah State losing 84-0. Oh!
Wow.
35 points in the first quarter.
That's just talk about. I don't know if I'm Savannah State. If I'm a head coach of Savannah State. What do I tell my boys? We're down 35 zip in the first quarter. What do I tell them?
You guys are doing good work. Keep it up. No, in that situation, you're down 35-0 in the first quarter. You put your defense on offense and your offense on defense because obviously nothing's working for you anyhow.
I tell the water boy, just put on a jersey, you're going to be quarterback.
Exactly. Because you're down 35. It's funny because I know I was actually texting you a few days ago. We're talking about, teams letting up and teams. You are a big fan. You're a big fan of one team just keep on going for it. You're a fan of.
I am. I'm a fan of a team, pouring on that pressure because, whether you think so or not, whether it doesn't look good on the scorecard, it is good for both teams. It is good to lose like that, and it's good to win like that. To win like that, and to keep pouring on the pressure, one, the team winning has fun, which, what do we play the sport for, right?
Right.
But two, these guys are potential future NFLers. And in the NFL, you don't quit. You play till the whistle. You keep pushing, and you keep that drive going. It doesn't matter what the score is. You want to put this winning energy into these guys as early as you can.
True.
And on the other side, for losing, my team played an undefeated season, my first season, and then in the off season we went to Saskatchewan to go and play their provincial champions, and we got slaughtered, 120-24. Like, we were absolutely destroyed by this team. And what did we do? We thought we were the best team in Alberta.
Yeah.
And we went back into spring training and we worked on our fundamentals. We went back to the basics. It is good for a team to get beat like that because it exposes the flaws in your system. It shows you where you're making the mistakes play calling if you're the coach. It shows you where you need improvement and what did okay. And I think it is good for both teams. Not necessarily all the time, but once in a while if you lose 84 zip, you're going to learn something more. You're going to learn more out of a loss than you are a win.
True. No, see what you mean by that, though, Matt. But the problem is, though, what I have a problem with is when if you're up 35 or 40-0 and it's not even halftime yet, and you still have your starting quarterback in. That's what I have an issue with. Because other team will get frustrated and they may say, you know what? Screw it. We're taking him out. And that's when you get brawls starting.
Yeah, I do have an issue with playing starters all the time. Don't get me wrong. When we started losing like that even, we were putting our second, our third strings in. And I've been on the other side of that where we've won 80-10.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten any play time as a starter. We put our second, our third strings in. We're putting kids in at quarterback who could be playing quarterback next year but haven't even played it this year.
Right.
It's a learning experience in blowouts like that. And that's why I like them.
Nah, it makes sense. I see what you mean, though, man. Yeah, no problem with the blowout loss, though, but once you see guys, keeping the starters in and going for 2 when you're up by 60 points, that's what I figured out. That's just
if you're throwing Hail Marys every time you're on the field and you're doing a Statue of Liberty and triple reverses, things like that, I'm not a fan of. But if you're playing basic fundamental, eye dive, straight up the gut type plays,
exactly,
that's what I like to see.
Right, like when Oregon played Arkansas State, they were up 50-3 at halftime, 50-3, and in the second half, they only scored 1 more touchdown. They only put up 7 more points the rest of the game.
But like you said, I'm looking at the scores here, and 62-10, 56-9, 40-0, 52-0. These are just blowout games.
Yeah. And of course, look at the schools. It's always a Division I powerhouse against a lower Division I or a Division II school.
And then you get some tighter games in here. I saw that Syracuse was pretty tight in their game.
Yeah.
And then you get Wisconsin, Iowa. But
exactly.
College football is completely one-sided.
It's true. Although every now and again you do get the games. Remember when Appalachian State beat Michigan in Michigan? I remember watching that game thinking, holy crap. That may have been one of the biggest upsets of all. I remember Appalachian State. I remember this is a game. Division II school. They stuck the whole game with Michigan. I think the score was 31-30 Appalachian State. Michigan's got a chip shot field goal to win it. And it was like a 25-yarder that gets blocked.
Oh.
I remember just watching and thinking, this is the biggest upset of all time. And on the road in Michigan, one of the hardest places to win in all of sports. For Division II school to do that, I don't know if anybody will do that again. The Division II school to win in the top 10 ranked school.
I saw that game and I was like, oh my goodness, that just happened. Because it was like there's upsets and then there's a Division II ranked team just that beating a team that is still sitting, has been sitting up in the top 10 for forever.
Yeah.
Just beating them at home. You're just like, did this just happen?
Something like that gives my theory credibility. I mean, these teams are getting blown out year after year after year, and they're learning from that. And then they're going to come back, and they're going to have those upsets every once in a while.
It's true. I mean, just watching that game, just watching how it was a regular season game. It was the first game of the year. And I saw players crying the sidelines. Oh. Like, what that did for them was that put them in national news for the rest of the year in 2009.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's extremely emotional for both sides in those big wins and the big losses and upsets. They're emotional for both teams. I mean, these Division II teams, they're going into these games expecting to lose. As bad as that is. You go into every game prepared to win, but
sometimes you just know.
You know, you're expecting to lose these games. And on the other side, those teams are expecting to win, those Division I teams. Yeah. And when you lose those games, it's grounding. It brings you back down to a normal level. And it brings you back to your fundamental football, which is, they've been saying it since the game started. Fundamental football is what wins games.
It's true. And now in college football this year again, we're the BCS. There's a lot of things I can call the BCS, and none of them are good for radio. But this is the next to last year, the whole BCS poll thing. I'm glad we're gonna have a 14 playoff in 2 years. What are your guys' thoughts on a 14 playoff coming to college football soon?
I mean, you know what? I mean, I love the fact that you can be ready throughout the whole season, but that's soccer. All the soccer leagues around the world, it's it depends on how you play the entire season. Mm-hmm. I think having that playoff just brings that other factor, because you know what? You can play good throughout the regular season, but I think scouts really look for when you're in that big clutch moment, when you're down to the playoff game and you're down by 10 in the fourth quarter, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Not like a regular season game against some Division II football team. When you're against another amazing team and the national championship, going to it is on the line.
You're absolutely right, Brilsey. I mean, what is Jordan Eberle famous for?
That big
Mr. Clutch,
yeah,
right?
He's clutch. The World Juniors and even his 70 rollers right now. He's clutch.
Yeah, that goal was one of the defining moments of his early career.
Yeah.
It's one of the defining moments of Canada sports history. I mean, you still see that goal played on commercials.
Oh, of course.
I still celebrate.
I mean, you know what? We don't give enough credit for that goal against Russia to Ryan Ellis for keeping the puck in the Russian zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't get it back to Eberle, this is game over and Canada's playing for bronze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they focus way too much on just the championship game and then all the other little tiny bowls. And I'm happy that they've gone to this 14 playoff because, I don't know, it just brings that extra kind of like, we need to win this.
Of
I
course.
mean, if you finish second in the BCS, you won't be remembered as much, but at least you'll have some type of name. But it's like, if you lose, you're not going to be playing in the BCS championship game.
It's true.
Even if you're the best team throughout and you went undefeated and you beat every team 55-0. If you don't win this playoff game, you're not going to the finals.
Right. And one thing now, the 14th playoff in 2014, we're going to break up the all-SEC monopoly. Because look at how many years in a row it's been SEC, SEC, SEC. I have a big problem when one conference is playing against itself repeatedly for the national title. I got a big problem with that when it's one conference that dominates the entire NCAA football scene in Division 1.
There's always that one conference in any sport that's a little bit stronger than most.
True.
But like you said, this is an absolute monopoly by the SEC.
It is. I find it so interesting because I figure, why? I know, it's all about money, TV ratings, but I would love to see, Boise State 2 years ago won 12-0, and we're not in the national game. How do you have undefeated teams not even being considered for a national title game?
Because they weren't good enough the last 5 years before. Done.
Yeah. I figure, you know what? Let's say by 2019, we get a 8 or a 10-team playoff. And all the smaller bowls will have the Rose Bowl is a national title game, and the Orange Bowl, the Meineke Bowl or whatnot, the Fiesta Bowl will be the semi and quarterfinals to get to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. All these small bowls, a big win in those is obviously it's fantastic. It's a great feeling, but there needs to be more. There needs to be more to that.
Of course.
Yeah, like, I won the, I don't know, Sun Life Insurance Bowl. Woo!
True.
When I finished 35th, I'm the 35th best team in the United States. No, you need to have those bowls to say, like, you know what? You won this bowl and you deserve it. Now you're going against, you need to have more to say, you know what? You won this bowl and you deserve it.
And think about it too. If you have guys playing multiple bowls, think about the swag you could say, we won the Orange Bowl and the Rose Bowl in the same year.
Yeah.
Think about the swag you could say with that happens.
Exactly.
And, people say, like, some of those bowls have been really close. Well, yeah, 2 of them.
True.
Like the Fiesta Bowl a few years ago with Boise State and that the infamous statue that we play. But other than that, I can't really think of any really amazing bowl games that came down to the final play. It's usually like 45-0 blowouts.
It's true, the bowl games, bowl games are never really tight. I love watching bowl games on New Year's Day on my birthday. I can't even think of one that's really been enthralling to watch in the past few years.
Well, I love watching bowl games because, as we all know, I love blowouts.
Yes, because you're a Patriot mentality.
Yeah, something like that. It's
just too funny, folks. We'll take our final music break. Commercial break. We'll come back. Maybe we'll talk some Jordan Eberle getting paid. Avry Sports Show Morning Edition, NR92.com. Booyah Shaka.